Hello, everyday leaders. It is Melahni Ake, and it is Monday night. It's the 30th of November. Cannot even believe it's after Thanksgiving. I'm still stuffed. I ate way too much. Diane Dick came on with us last Sunday, and we talked about virtual Thanksgiving games. And one of the questions was, how many calories do we consume during Thanksgiving? And it was 4,500 calories, she revealed. And I was like, no way. So, you kind of went into Thanksgiving with like, we can't eat from Monday on. But it was really fun. And so I'm hoping that everyone that's watching this had a great Thanksgiving with your family, even live or virtually. And you're still celebrating, getting ready for this different holiday season because, right, we may not be able to do the things that we still want to do, but we got to find something creative to make those traditions and memories. And so if you're just watching the Everyday Leaders network and platform for the first time, I want to welcome you. It is where we celebrate people that are overcoming obstacles in their lives. And so part of this platform is bringing up leaders, taking interviews, and really helping you to develop those strategies. And I am finding gems in the rough. I am telling you, people are calling every day saying, I've got a great leader. I've been on virtual summits. I've been hosting as an MC for some amazing things this season during COVID. And now I bring you another amazing leader that I met just a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know you before then. I can't believe it. It's so right. So she shares my heart. And actually, as she's introducing herself, I'm going to post the links that you can find everything. Like she's got everything organized in one platform, all the links where you can find her. So without further ado, I welcome to the program, Everyday Leaders Live, Yovy Daniels. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Melahni. How are you? Thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited. Hi, everyone. My name is Yovy D. I am a former corporate TV media planner. I have actually a podcasting that kind of lands on that, but I will talk about that later on. Yes, I have a little accent. I am from Central America, from Panama, and I had the great pleasure to meet Melahni on the Domestic Violence Panel Global Summit, and it was amazing to just share my experience with her. And I could tell you a little bit of it. And what brought me to this point? What brought me to this point was that basically I've been in the TV industry for almost 15 years. But with that being said, it was a great experience. And then something happened between the years of 2013 to 2017. I will say really plainly, within 5 years, I was laid off 3 times. So, and then I was in my late 30s, almost 40. So talking about like, you're going to flip a switch. But anyways, I was excited. It was different. I already had done my education because as a daughter of an immigrant, you come here and education is important. That's how you get that gun. That's the most important thing that you should do. Nobody's going to take it away from you. Blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, I did that. I did my bachelor's. I did my master's. So then I really found myself like, okay, Yovy, you have all this education and then you have all this experience. And I felt that I needed an outlet to give back. I really wanted to give back. I've been involved in organizations like Boys and Girls Club, Big Brother, Big Sister. And I felt that I wanted to mentor and give this information to the upcoming generation. I really did. Hi. And then I really was excited. And I kind of was dabbing here and there. And I said, okay, what is the medium that makes me, feel comfortable? And I know that YouTube was out there and, on MySpace. And maybe I'm dating here myself, but you know how what I say. But anyhow, I was just like, finally, I tapped on podcasting. And podcasting was around for a while. Mm-hmm. But then the new kind of podcasting, the platform, the apps that were coming out basically was the answer to my prayer, literally. Mm-hmm. And I dive into it and I say, okay, the best thing that I can do also is talk to other to find out that I know that I'm not the only one in this space of being employee and now becoming an entrepreneur, standing on your own and your own beliefs and creating value by informing and sharing what I know. So long story short, I started the Yovy D Show podcast. And then recently I started also the version slightly in Spanish about myself and being Black, Latina. I'm a native Spanish speaker. And I wanted to tag about the experiences and stories about other people that I know that they relate to what we go through, especially being part of working and living in the United States. So with that being said, it's been a highlight. My show in Spanish has exploded incredibly. There's an article there. I've been named like the top 5 or 10 podcasts Afro Latinx to look out for. And I cannot tell you how blessed I am. I've been meeting amazing people, especially like Melahni. And that's what we are. It's been Transferable Skills 101.
Transferable skills. I'm going to just show, you have, when I look at the link that I put in the chat here, if you're following us on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, here we go. So I'm going to have to switch back here real quick, and I'm going to go to this link so that I can take us through. But tell us what's on this, Yovy. So
I think that the first one you have right now is the link for my Spanish podcast for Black Latinos. And then you have, I think you're scrolling down the Instagram page of the Chombita Chronicles and then the Yovy D Show. Further down, I think you have the link of my, if you want to help out, you get tips.
There you go. Right there.
Knowledge is definitely valuable. And also I have a Patreon account that I started just recently that I'm working on that. And then I think right to the bottom is the articles that I am being covered in, where they have been asking me, what is my experience as an Afro-Latina? Basically the term is being Black and Latino and Spanish speaking culturally. So that's a couple of articles. The recent one, I think it was the National Writers of Hispano Journalism, I think, NAJA. And I have other articles that says they're the top Latinos to hear from. But as I said, with that switch, it brought also how you see the way that I carry my hair today. It has been a rebirth, a renaissance of my image. Let me just make a pause, really important.
Yes.
When I say transferable skills, that doesn't mean that I did not go through obstacles. I went through with a lot of obstacles, especially when I met Melahni, and a great friend of us that now her name is Gigi Regeline Sabat. She's an amazing trailblazer. And I was caught in that moment professionally as a woman, career driven, in the middle of a very verbal, abusive, toxic relationship that took a toll. I almost lost my dream job. That's what brought me here to LA. With that being said, I was sane enough, or thankfully had friends and colleagues that kind of pointed out and pretty much showed that this person was not right for me, especially at the point where you see your well-being, your financial living, and people that depend on you, my mom or my grandmother, in that sense, that it was just not right. I had the opportunity to get out of it. It was really strange. I was greatly, greatly depressed. I was just walking like a bag of bones without no soul. And it took me literally, fast forward today, 5 years to feel like myself, to have the joy. I must say also that the great news is that I met today somebody very, very, very beautiful to me.
That's awesome. Because I want you to talk a little bit about beliefs. When we think about leadership and somebody we believe in, and then we find out something different. Right?
Yes.
We're on that journey and we say, oh, okay, well, I think you're the right person. You're the right inner circle. You're going to influence me the right way. And so you really believe everything, right? You show up 100% for that person and for that experience. And then when you discover something different, that's where kind of the fear and the anxiety comes in, because you think, well, but where you're fooling yourself and you feel like a failure. But if you don't make a decision to do something different and make that change, you're always going to live in that fear and regret and anxiety and depression, right? And
I
so
agree with you. I agree with you. Yes. And
talk,
now I
talk
know
to me
that
about that. Talk to me about what that felt like and how you transitioned through that.
well, I always call myself a conservative risk taker. I don't know what you want to put it up, but I do. I calculate my good parts, and then I say I jump on it. For example, as I said, the job that brought me here to LA with Fox ended in 2016. Again, I came with other coworkers of mine, 7 of us that jumped into the opportunity of living Miami. We have been living in Miami for like 20 years, give and take. But we jumped in the opportunity. We came to LA. We did the LA. And then we had an opportunity in 2017 to, guess what? To work abroad. And
Mhm.
at first, I'll tell you, I was apprehensive. I was like, I ain't going to know. But then something told me, no, do it. Go for it. And it was the best thing for me, being in another environment, kind of actually really even connecting with my roots and engaging. It was a thrill for
Mhm.
5 months, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me, working in another country, living in another country. And then again, coming back with that knowledge, that rebirth, it was scary because obviously I took a chance. I try again the whole job marketing and then in LA, and it got kind of difficult.
Mhm.
But I kept on pushing, and I find my space. There's days that you get torn. Yes, there's people in your ear talking about ageism and, oh well, you're not gonna make it. Oh my God, you made a mistake. Why did you left that job? Blah blah blah. And you know what? I decided from the moment that I even decided to just render and surrender to God and let Him take the way. Just show me the path. He's in charge. I don't care about the how. I just do, and I ask what I want, and I tell I pray for what I care about. And
Mhm.
it just comes to me. I cannot explain to you if it's the ultimate belief. I'm just telling you what I've been through. And He has brought me great people like Melahni, like Gigi, like so many wonderful people that I'm meeting right now. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to share my knowledge with you. I
Mhm.
wanted to tell you that in moments of doubt, you have to still believe whatever that is in God, in the universe, but you have to believe that it's going to come through. It's going
Mhm.
to take a while. It's going to take a lot of patience. The same way that it took me when I switched my hair. At first, I didn't feel beautiful. I was like, what is this? And I'm like, what have I done? But you know what? Now I love it. I feel like this is the way that I'm supposed to. I hope that you see beauty and enlightenment, and my aura and my presence cheers you up. That's the value that I'm putting in there. You come to my podcast or my shows, it's just a feel good kind of sense. I feel a pride. I feel like, oh my God, I can make it. That's how I am. I'm your cheerful friend.
Well, that's awesome. But the thing is, what people need to remember is not every day, just because you follow faith and you say, okay, God's got this, not every day is a
Not every
perfect
day.
day,
No.
right? And so we have to lean back on what we believe. And if our beliefs change, and that's why it's so important to step into the things that are, what I always say is it's right in front of you. The things that we're ready to touch, that we're ready to step into.
Yes.
It is just like, it's like through that little sheer valance, that we have in our houses. And if we just kind of push that aside, and it's like, oh, it was always right there. If we lose our
So
keys, we lose something in our life, and we go, oh, that's where it was, because we're not looking for it, right? We have to
exactly.
change our belief
Exactly.
and our perspective. Once we do that, we say, oh my goodness, this is so easy. I didn't realize it was right here. And it's always been there. You just have ignored it, right?
Right.
So I love
Right.
the way you walked us through that for you because, when you say we want to celebrate and we want to help people become better at believing in themselves, and everybody, I think, wants that. When you become something bigger in the world and you want to impact the world, that's the first way that you can do it, right? You can do that from where you are. And just by saying, I want to add value, I want to show up and try to do more things that will improve the world. That's a great way to start. So I celebrate you for doing that because it's not easy. Even if you say I worked in media and I worked at a TV station, you can have a lot of positions in that. But if you feel that within your heart, that you can do something now and take that and customize it to your own brand. And that's what you've done. So,
Correct.
right?
That's what I've done because and basically that's what I decided. I said I had all this knowledge, so I said, you know what, this is the perfect time. I started my company. I said I have so much information, especially from the vendor or client side of saying, okay, how do I put this commercial? Or how do I maximize my presence? So I'm a media consultant where I tell other clients where their ad dollars can make the most of their value. May that be in traditional media, TV, radio, or new media. Because your product, your service is targeted to a demographic. Demographic means a number of people. You want to target 18 to 25, or you want to target 35 to 45. So even though we have several platforms, each platform of social media platform serves a purpose to target that customer that you really want, or you want women, or you want moms, or you whichever it is, you want single dads. There's an audience for your service and your product, and that's where I help my customers or clients to decide what exactly they want to do, and I give them a review. I do an analysis. I sit down with them, and they're like, okay, I just want to just can I do TikTok, or can I do Snapchat, or it's like, or should I go on Facebook? And I'm like, wait, okay, let's just work out. And that's kind of like I walk them through that process of understanding what fits better for them.
Talk to me about hashtags because I had one of my friends from Australia, Sally Illingworth. I had her on my 50 and 50 audio podcast, and she really is, I would say, one of the experts in LinkedIn technology and really just kind of pushing it out there for live TV on LinkedIn. And I love her. And she walked us through kind of the steps on her theories about hashtags, and I was amazed. And so, just like you, right, giving the opportunity to tell people, like, why is a hashtag important and how should we be using them?
Okay. Uh, the research, this is what you have to do. The hashtag comes out really good. For example, I knew that there was an award show that was coming up on a Thursday. So I knew that I started using the hashtag for that show going live 3 days prior. It was for young people, singers, and everything. But the point is that if you really want to like literally hop on that train and get the most eyeballs on it, then you know that, example, the Emmys are coming, or the Oscars are coming, or the elections. So it's not that you like piggybacking, but you actually or going on the background, but that serves the purpose to highlight your business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a hashtag is, anything that's happening, or anything that comes out trendy, or somebody says something and then immediately you hashtag it, like Mike Tyson's pay-per-view fight, or I want to see Mike Tyson coming back, and then you jump on those events, and that's how you maximize your audience, because then they see you there. I use it a lot in podcasting. It's kind of like, and hashtag is giving you, if you go back, remember the white pages or directory? That's basically what a hashtag means. So it takes you to the page that you want to see. Hashtag I love my coffee. Or hashtag I like Melahni today. And that pushes your content of engagement, and everybody sees you there. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it comes out.
And so if anybody, like right now, if we hashtag this with COVID-19, right? COVID
Correct.
Chronicles, COVID-19, anything. So anyone that would be looking that up, for those that haven't used hashtags, which I don't know how many people have not, because I think everybody in the world has, but I think it's really important that we educate people on how to use them, because
Correct.
it's not just about what you want, it's about what your audience is looking for, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah, because sometimes also the hashtag cannot be too long. It has to be very targeted, and sometimes it gets lost. Sometimes there's a hashtag that you create and it just doesn't go anywhere. It just
Mhm.
fizzle. So then it's a combination of, let me see what's happening in the news or what's trending. Like that's a very, or there's also a website that tells you social media blade that kind of gives you an idea more. And obviously everybody goes to Twitter. Twitter is usually the best place really to check out when it comes to what's happening.
Mhm.
Is the water cooler kind of corner, is that little place where everybody kind of talk, and that's why you know what's happening.
Mhm.
And we have applications that also help us, and that's what I show to my clients, that there is a way. Video obviously is a value incredibly when you create this format that we have right now, where people can see you, where people can listen to you. It creates a lot. But people's like, oh, they get so complicated, like, oh my god, I want to do a video. I'm like, it's not that. Your If your message is clear,
Mhm.
precise, you have a nice brand image, it's going to be super easy. And now they really force us to think in such a way to make it as concise and in less than 60 seconds. So now creativity goes up higher to bring that up in your content, in your brand, in your company, in your message, because then you go really right to the point.
Mhm. Amen. Sister, that is awesome. And it's so true. People that are struggling, I hear so many people and clients, especially right now. How do I brand my own business? How do I begin to do something that I've never done? How do I step into the unknown? Because there are so many fears about technology and just, doing it right. And my advice always is just start doing it. You don't
Yes.
know what it's going to look like until you start it, because you hold yourself back, and you don't know what your space might be. You might go back, as you said in the beginning, to MySpace. Right?
Hey, by the way, it actually is. They're still there. They obviously Facebook and every other format that is out there, but they are there. But it serves a person because for the artist, for the writer, for the musician, that's the beautiful part. That's why we have all these platforms. Some people's like, oh,
Mhm,
I want to push my music. Okay, this is what is for you. Oh, I want to push my craft. Okay, then this is for you. That's why we have Etsy and other websites that serve. You know, that's the beautiful part. Nobody's stopping you. And if you want to check out my podcast, especially the first ones, I know that they were not the greatest, but you know what? I started somewhere.
that's right.
And practice does really make us better.
Practice does make us better. Oh my goodness. I just love you. You're such an inspiration for so many people. Tell us about, what you hope to do. What are your goals for the next 12 months, kind of after COVID? What have you been planning to do since you've had a little bit of a break now, like all of us, right?
Have we? Or do we feel like we are working a little bit more than usual,
Well,
Melanie?
I think we're planning, right? It's giving us the opportunity to plan what's next. So what's on your slate? What's going on next?
Well, right now, I am completing the second season for my Spanish podcast. I'm about to pick
Congratulations.
up, thank you. I'm about to pick up on my English podcast, the Yovy Daniels Show, where I speak to other entrepreneurs or other former corporate employees that have been, and then they transfer to entrepreneurship and so on. So that is going to start 2021. I am definitely going to continue being part of other projects in English as well as in Spanish, with being virtual conferences, being a panelist, because there's just so much to contribute, and I'm so blessed and I'm really thankful that that I'm able to be part of this community. Especially, I've created a really good connection with other podcasters. And the truth of the matter, Melanie, I know that I'm like, this is just people say, well, we're not networking in person. I devoted a year to go to conferences in person pre-COVID time. I remember, and that's what I wanted to do. And now this is just the new way. This is the actual social media engagement that we have to do. You meet amazing persons and you figure it out. And I am so grateful, and I like the trend that's happening, especially this new generation, the way that they are really breaking down certain messages. They really expose, and then I'm also talking to my colleagues, and I say, hop on. A lot of people, like you say, they're afraid, they don't know, they don't understand. Oh my God, this is going to be a little bit technically challenged, but if you don't do it, you're never going to see the result.
Exactly. My mentor, John Maxwell, one of the things that he always says that I love is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And you don't know how long that's going to take. It depends on your passion, the time that you have, your willingness to be able to learn and fail and learn and fail and learn and fail, and then find your sweet spot. And I think as leaders, in our space, we have to encourage people. Like if you have a voice, if you have something that, you're just not happy with the way things are going in your life and you want improvements, you're the only person that can make the change happen. So it's your decision, right? Right? You've got to do that. You have got to take ownership of that and say, what if I did? I'm always encouraging my friend Greg Storch in Italy. He says he moved everything from America and they moved to Italy, and his wife works at the USO. And I'm always like, Greg, you're the perfect story of what if you did? What if you did? What if you sold everything and moved across the world? And he is the success, right, of sharing with us now what's happening with COVID 4 or 5 weeks ahead of time. But it's just so interesting because it becomes our story, and we forget. We forget, like, because it's happening to us, we're in the middle of it, and we don't think it has value. When really, that's the value, because now we can share what our experience has been. And so I love talking to other podcasters and other entrepreneurs that are saying, yeah, I get it. I get it. It is about you. It is about others and helping people just on that journey. And because you can't survive alone. Right?
No, and that's what I'm discovering now. You can make it so far as an individual, and you can be the kind of like the one man all band kind of thing. But then at one point, you really I come from an environment of teamwork, and I knew that at one point I say I need to delegate, and I need to find the people that are good at what they have to do so I can do the things that I'm good at and creating, and I'm putting more on my branding out there. So with that being said, with that being said, you can make it. I think I learned this from Steve Harvey. He said you can make it this far on your own, but then you need another partner in order to grow and go further, to see that vision that you have for yourself. And now it's like, don't be afraid, just do it. And if it doesn't come out right, just do it again.
Just do it again. Just keep doing it, right?
I know. And it's like, at first I know that it's really funny that you have certain friends and they're like, what are you doing? What are you working on? It's like, I really don't have the time to explain to you. And they want to learn, but it's like, you're only going to learn when you're ready to take that leap.
When the student is ready, the teacher appears, right?
Yes.
And so I want to encourage everybody that's watching this, if you have not met this wonderful woman, I'm going to share the screen here to be able to share your podcast link. And do I have it right? Let's make sure that I have it right here. Going to it. And yes, there we go. So this is what you'll see when you go to the link that's in the chat. So wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn or any of the Facebook groups or pages, you can go right to that link, and this is where it's going to take you. And it's for all of Yovy's podcasts, her articles, her connections. She'll take tips on her Cash App, Patreon. And so really you need to check this out because, lifting leaders and others that are really just changing the world in their own way and showing up with success. That's what this is about. And so anything that you do, we want to encourage each other, especially during COVID, right? Like, what are you doing? One of my girlfriends, the America Supermom, Lachelle Atkins, always says, right, that that's the COVID Chronicles. And so it's really like, what are you doing? How have you survived? And she has 15 kids.
Whoa.
Yes. So we're all challenged with different
I
things.
admire her.
Yes. But we have to, you have to realize that. And so while we're going through this, I just really want to encourage people. If you're watching this program, if you're watching this on the replay, let us know where you're coming from. And if you need anything, any services from an entrepreneur standpoint, reach out to us because we want to help get you to that next level. And so I love what you've shared tonight, Yovy. And if there's anything that we can ever do from the Everyday Leaders platform, always reach out so that we can share your journey and just celebrate you.
Awesome. I am so happy that I had this time with you and your audience. Thank you so much. You can find me anytime on social media. I'm also using Instagram. And again, Melanie, you have been a delight. I love your space. This is so important. And as I said, we're here. We're here to help you.
We're here to help you. Now, remember, guys, all week we're going to have some exciting things. So today was the kickoff for the week. Tomorrow we've got Mary Leone that's talking about recruiting, and she helps people that are disabled and veterans. And then Wednesday night, you don't want to miss this. Misael Diaz has my heart. You guys know this. If you've followed me anytime, was part of my initial journey with the John Maxwell team and encouraged me for personal growth and how to do this. And so we're going to talk about the steps that we've taken, and then we're going to invite you to even learn more if you would like to understand how to join the John Maxwell team. So it's going to be a really amazing week to kick off these holidays. And then Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, Dan Dominguez and I are going to go through my why. So there's this thing called the Why Institute. And so he invited me to join him so that we can learn what my why is and then really put the pieces together to the how, what, and when. And how do you actually frame what you do and how you do it to your customers and your audience? So we're going to walk through that here live, just like this, on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you're looking for something to do Saturday morning, you should join us and watch that experience. And we're also going to have a live workshop the next week. We're going to announce that. So don't miss it. We've got lots of fun things coming. And if you know someone that has a great story about leadership and how to lead their life with success, remember what I always say. It is right in front of you. The people that inspire you the most are right there. And they've got amazing stories because what we know as everyday leaders, we can change the world. And together we can make that happen. So thank you, everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you if you're watching this on the replay. Please remember to reach out to Yovy if she can help you, and come to the Everyday Leaders platform and celebrate all of our leaders. So thank you very much. Have a great
Thank you,
night,
everyone.
Thank you.
Melanie, you're a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.